Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from group 6 that consists of me, Sherina Nurhidayati, Magdalena, Mitha, Suli, and Novia. In this video, we will explain about translation tools. What is translation? The translation is a mental activity in which the meaning of given linguistic discourse is rendered from one language to another. According to Foster, the translation is an act through which the context of the text is transferred from the source language into the target language. The language to be translated is called the source language, whereas the language to be translated into or arrived at is called the target language. The translator needs to have good knowledge of the source language and the target language. In addition to high linguistic sensitivity, as he should transmit the writer's intention, original thoughts, and opinions in the translated version as precisely and faithfully as possible.
B. Translation tools. They are tools that play a part in the actual translation process, that are specially designed to work with at least one source text and one target text at the same time and establish relationships between both texts on a segment level or whole text level. According to Melby, proposes a clarification of the systems that can aid the translator according to the press of the translation process in which they are applied. Before, during, or after the translation, or they might be essential throughout the whole process, and according to the level on which they act, technology level or segment level. These factors allow us to distinguish between 8 types of translation technology. 1. Infrastructure. Tools that, despite not being specially designed for translation, are crucial in the translation environment, such as document creation or management systems, B. Technology databases, and C. Telecommunication, intranet, internet, email, file transfer protocol, web browser, etc. Term level before translation. Tools that allow the detection of candidates that could be eligible for inclusion in the terminology database. They would not only identify words, as spell checker do, but also terminological phrases. Terminology research would cover searches on the internet and in the text databases. Terms level during translation. Tools that automatically look up terms in the database and show their equivalent in the target language set by the translator. The translator does not need to search for terms in the database manually and can incorporate them into the target text automatically without having to type them out. 4. Terms level after translation. Tools that checks the consistent use of terminology after a translation has been complete, and tools that flag terms that the translator wishes to avoid using. 5. Segment level before translation. Tools that allow the segments in the source text to be alike with their matching segment in the target text and index it. 6. Segment level during the translation. This type included tools for looking up segments in the translation memory and machine translation. 7. Segment level after translation. Tools that detect missing segment. For example, if one of the text segment has not been translated, checks grammar, and retain the original text format. 8. Translation workflow and billing management. These tools do not play a direct part in the translation process itself, but they are extremely important for keeping track of the work done, especially when dealing with large-scale projects. In this case, it is essential to have tools that help control the variables that can affect the different texts being processed in a project. Deadline, modifications to text, translation, priorities, revision dates, and so on.
Hello, my name is Novia, and the next topic is about the best translation tools for translator. The first tool is computer-assisted translation. So, computer-assisted translation are the software application that support the translation of the text from one language to another. More specifically, computer-assisted translation used for submitting, editing, managing, and storing the translation. Computer-assisted translation have two best features. Those are MemoQ and STL Trader Studio. Okay, MemoQ feature allows you to create a glossary with terms and reuse previous translations. And you can also add reference material and get suggestion from other research while you type, as well as using its predictive text functionality. And for SDL Studio feature, can make a pre-translate from a translation memory in order to allow a translator to work at up to twice their usual speed. The second tools that can use for translator is a localization platforms. In translation, localization is not just about word-for-word translation. So localization is a holistic translation of content including text, image, and slogans. And we have three localization platforms recommended to use. The first one is Localize, the second is SmartLink, and the last is Crowdin. Okay, the last translation tools for translator is website translation. So I think all of you are familiar with website to do a translation. Example of website translation you can use are Google Translate, Poedit, and WPML. And after you do a translation, you can use an editing tools to make your translation better. The recommended editing tools you can use are Magdalena, Lingui, and Microsoft Language Portal. Magdalena could be the tools you've been using if you translate technical, medical, or policy document. And if you need to double check the meaning of a word or phrase, or need to check expression and individual word, you can use Lingui. And you can use the Microsoft Language Portal if you are working on IT and technology translation.
Now, we will discuss about the difference between Machine Translator and CAT tool. Machine Translation Tool or Machine Translator is software that is able to translate text automatically without any human intervention in the process. While the CAT tool is a form of language translation in which a human translator uses computer software to support and facilitate the translation process. From this definition, the main difference between Machine Translator and CAT tool is the intervention of the translator in the translation process. Human intervention is still needed. The CAT tool is just a tool, not a fully automatic machine translator. Okay, I think that's all from us. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.